This is my ranking of the best crime games on PS5 that I've played, based purely on my personal experience. Each one is placed from masterpiece to trash, depending on how strong the crime storytelling is and how fun the gameplay feels. Let's get straight into the list. Judgment mixes, detective work, courtroom drama, street combat, and crime investigation. Inside a story about a former lawyer hunting the truth behind a series of connected murders. Players collect evidence, question witnesses, chase suspects, solve cases, and fight dangerous criminals. After spending time with it, I loved how each investigation slowly uncovered another secret instead of handing everything away. I searched crime scenes, tailed suspects through busy streets, examined clues, and used every new discovery to push the case forward. When fights broke out, switching between combat styles kept every encounter exciting. The side cases added funny and strange moments without hurting the main mystery. Every chapter raised bigger questions, so I always wanted to see who was responsible and why everything happened. The ending rewarded careful attention and made the whole investigation worth finishing. I ended up putting this in the excellent tier. Payday 3 is a cooperative crime shooter built around carefully planned heists where crews rob banks, steal valuable items, crack vaults, avoid security, or fight through police when plans fail. Players can choose stealth or loud action while upgrading weapons, skills, and equipment. Once I learned each heist, I enjoyed planning every move before putting on my mask. Sneaking past guards, opening locked doors, carrying heavy loot, and escaping without raising alarms felt much more rewarding than charging into endless gunfights. When everything went wrong, the fast shooting and teamwork still made every robbery exciting. I also liked replaying missions with different strategies because every attempt felt slightly different depending on my choices and my teammates. The movement felt smooth, the weapons handled well, and the stealth changes added much more variety than I expected. Even with a few rough edges, I ranked this in my good tier. Watch Dogs is an open-world crime action adventure where a skilled hacker uses a citywide operating system to control cameras, traffic lights, bridges, security devices, and other technology while hunting dangerous criminals across Chicago. Missions combine driving, hacking, stealth, and combat. After spending time with it, I enjoyed solving problems by hacking instead of rushing into every fight. I switched traffic lights, raised bridges, distracted guards, triggered traps, and escaped police chases in creative ways that never got old. Sneaking through restricted areas with security cameras felt smarter than simply shooting everyone. I also spent plenty of time exploring side activities because the city always had something interesting happening. Even though the story did not stay with me, the hacking tools made every mission more enjoyable and encouraged me to experiment with different approaches whenever possible because every successful escape felt rewarding and kept me coming back, so I placed it in my great tier. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut is a crime action adventure that tells the early stories of Kazuma Kiryu and Goro Majima as both become trapped in a dangerous conflict between powerful Yakuza families. Players explore lively city districts, fight with different combat styles, complete dramatic missions, and enjoy many side activities. Once I jumped into the story, I quickly became invested in both characters, because each chapter revealed another twist that changed everything. I switched between Kiryu and Majima, learned their unique fighting styles, and spent hours finishing side stories that were funny, emotional, and sometimes completely unexpected. Running the cabaret club and building the real estate business became just as addictive as the main missions. I also enjoyed wandering the streets because there was always another distraction waiting around the corner. Every part of the city felt full of life, making it easy to lose track of time, so I placed it in my excellent tier. Watch Dogs 2 is an open-world crime adventure where a young hacker joins DedSec to fight a powerful surveillance network by breaking into secure locations, controlling city technology, solving hacking puzzles, and completing dangerous missions across a detailed version of the San Francisco Bay Area. Once I unlocked more hacking tools, I started approaching every mission in my own way instead of following the easiest path. I used drones to scout guarded buildings, distracted enemies with hacked devices, called gangs or police to create chaos, and slipped inside while everyone else was busy. Driving through the city also felt better, because I could control traffic, stop pursuing vehicles, and escape without relying only on speed. Exploring the map never felt boring because there were always new side activities, upgrades, and secrets waiting nearby. The lighter style worked well with the creative gameplay. And the freedom to experiment kept every mission entertaining, so it belongs in my excellent tier. Empire of Sin is a crime strategy game set during the Prohibition era, where players build a criminal empire by running illegal businesses, recruiting gang members, expanding territory, managing relationships, and fighting rival mobs through turn-based tactical battles across 1920s Chicago. After learning how everything worked, I enjoyed building my own organization and slowly taking control of more neighborhoods. Managing speakeasies, casinos, and breweries made every decision feel important because earning money opened new opportunities for expansion. I also liked recruiting different gangsters since each one brought unique abilities that changed how battles played out. The turn-based fights rewarded careful positioning instead of rushing forward, even if some encounters became repetitive later. Seeing my criminal network grow across the city kept me motivated to continue despite a few rough mechanics. The setting, music, and classic gangster atmosphere made every hour more enjoyable, so I placed it in my good tier. Mafia Definitive Edition tells the story of an ordinary taxi driver whose life changes after joining a powerful mafia family, leading him through dangerous missions, fierce gunfights, high-speed chases, and the harsh realities of organized crime during the 1930s. As I played through the campaign, I became more interested in the story because every mission pushed Tommy deeper into the criminal world. Driving the old cars took some practice, but they matched the time period and made every chase more exciting. The city looked beautiful, and I enjoyed exploring its streets even though the adventure stayed focused on the main story instead of filling the map with endless side tasks. Gunfights felt satisfying, especially when using cover during larger battles, and the updated cutscenes made the characters much more believable. Its straightforward design kept me engaged from beginning to end, so I placed it in my great tier. Yakuza Like a Dragon introduces a new hero, Ichiban Kasuga, whose loyalty and determination pull him into a dangerous conflict involving powerful Yakuza families, political corruption, and unlikely friendships. The adventure replaces the series' traditional brawling with turn-based battles, while filling the city with memorable side stories, activities, and character-driven moments. I was surprised by how quickly I connected with Ichiban because his optimism never disappeared, even when everything seemed to fall apart around him. The turn-based combat stayed fun thanks to creative jobs, hilarious special attacks, and the way everyday objects became part of every fight. I also spent plenty of time on side quests and the business management activity because they were just as entertaining as the main story. Every chapter introduced another emotional twist that made me want to keep playing until the credits rolled, so I placed it in my excellent tier. Lost Judgment blends detective work with fast-paced action as Takayuki Yagami uncovers the truth behind a murder linked to a prestigious high school, leading him through investigations, brutal street fights, stealth sections, and a wide range of optional activities. I enjoyed how every investigation slowly uncovered another twist, because the mystery stayed interesting until the final chapters. The detective mechanics felt much better this time, especially searching crime scenes, gathering clues, and questioning suspects. Combat was another highlight, since switching between different fighting styles kept every battle exciting and made each encounter feel different. I also spent a surprising amount of time completing school activities and side cases because they added memorable characters and entertaining stories beyond the main investigation. Exploring the city never became repetitive thanks to the variety of distractions waiting around every corner. The stronger combat and excellent detective work made this an easy choice, so I placed it in my great tier. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth takes Ichiban Kasuga beyond Japan to Hawaii, where a personal search grows into a much larger conflict involving powerful groups, returning allies, and an emotional story shared with Kazuma Kiryu. The turn-based combat builds on the previous adventure with smarter mechanics, more freedom, and plenty of ways to customize every battle. I loved how much there was to do because every time I thought I would continue the main story, another side activity grabbed my attention. Building up Dondoko Island, Collecting Sujimon and finishing quirky side stories kept me entertained for hours without feeling repetitive. Combat felt much smoother thanks to better positioning, stronger teamwork, and more tactical choices, while both main characters had memorable moments throughout the adventure. Everything came together as one massive package that stayed fun from beginning to end, so I placed it in my excellent tier. Mafia: The Old Country travels back to the origins of organized crime in early 1900s. Sicily, where Enzo Favara rises from a harsh childhood into the dangerous world of the Torrisi crime family. Instead of relying on a massive open world, it delivers a focused story filled with tense gunfights, stealth missions, horseback travel, and dramatic moments inspired by classic Mafia films. I enjoyed how the adventure stayed focused, because every mission pushed the story forward without wasting time on unnecessary distractions. The Sicilian setting looked incredible, and riding through the countryside gave every journey its own atmosphere. Combat and stealth were both enjoyable, even if they kept to familiar ideas, while the strong performances made the characters easy to care about. The story kept me invested until the ending, making it another memorable crime adventure, so I placed it in my great tier. Red Dead Redemption 2 is an open-world crime and outlaw story set during the final days of the Wild West, following Arthur Morgan and the Vanderlyn gang as they run, hide, fight, hunt, travel, and survive across a living world. The game mixes story missions, camp management, gunfights, horseback travel, hunting, and random events that keep the world moving. Once I started playing, I kept finding new reasons to stay in the world longer. Riding across the map, caring for my horse, helping the camp, and getting pulled into sudden encounters made every session feel alive. The shooting was strong, the details were incredible, and even small actions like talking to people or checking my honor made the adventure feel bigger. I also liked how the story kept building around Arthur and the gang without rushing. Every part of it felt rich, polished, and unforgettable, so I placed it in my masterpiece tier. Grand Theft Auto 5 follows three criminals in Los Santos as they take on robberies, chases, shootouts, and messy jobs that pull them deeper into crime. Players can switch between Michael, Franklin, and Trevor, then jump into heists, driving, and open-world chaos across a huge city and countryside. Once I started playing, I kept bouncing between the three characters because each one had a different kind of trouble waiting. I liked setting up heists, escaping the police, and messing around between missions since the world always had something to do throughout every night drive and every unexpected roadside encounter. Driving felt great, the missions were varied, and the freedom to create my own chaos made every session fun. Even when I was not following the story, I still found myself testing random things just to see what would happen next. The huge world and non-stop variety made this an easy pick for my excellent tier. That's my ranking after spending enough time exploring these criminal underworlds. Let me know which one you'd put in the masterpiece tier, and I'll see you in the next ranking video. Thanks for watching.